So this is how a lot of people started finding out by personal experience that there is a problem with thinking about the uh, average in human domains in the same way as people had been going on with their business of averaging things in the physical sciences. I also found this in one study of mine where we were doing this intervention to enable students to do more physical activity. So we had 4 outcome measures about physical activity and sedentary behavior, and I looked at, okay, so how many people actually correspond or average on all of these domains. And I found the same thing as Daniels did with the pilots, that in our sample there were less than 1% who were actually average in all these measures that we were taking. So you want, there's a blog post linking to the paper. And yeah, and I also asked researchers, like, what do you think is the right answer? And the most common observation, so this is the mode, or most common guess was that 5% of our intervention participants would be average on all of these 4 domains. But there was a significant peak also. A lot of people thought that it's 30% that are average. And now you remember perhaps our discussion about histograms. So here is the same thing again. And when you look at this distribution of the data, you can again see that is there a single number that would actually condense this distribution very nicely, that we would understand it very well, because we have these 2 peaks, and if we take the average, it's the average and the mode are probably somewhere here. But think about how much information gets lost if you only use a single number. So if you only take the mode, for example, you don't see that, okay, so there's another peak at 30%. And yeah, so we need to think about what makes sense and what can we throw away, what information, because we can never consider all of the information in some sample. We will come to that later in our discussions about complexity, but we should be able to discuss what is the relevant information in some phenomenon that we are observing. You can see it. So here it says that the average is actually around 14. So here's the average. So one thing that Todd Rose talks about is the jaggedness principle. So you can have a tall person with low weight and small shoulder width, but high reach, and another person with low weight but low height but high weight and large shoulder width, and so forth. So this is again taking the average of a banana, an orange, and an apple. So if you would take the average of these 2 people, you would end up with something that really doesn't exist in the real world. And our last discussion here is going to be about fat tails. And for that, we probably need to take a deep breath.